Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty serious show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, Dreamerspro Show clips that we have in the comment section. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. As y'all know, this Warriors-Lakers series is turning out to be very anticlimactic. Going into this series, I think a lot of us expected a competitive series, and it's been competitive to a certain extent. But as we currently sit here and speak, the Lakers are pretty much dominating the series. They're pretty much running away with it, right? And now they're up 3-1 as the series shifts back to Golden State. And I think a good amount of people out there now believe that the Lakers are most likely going to be victorious, and I'm beginning to think so too. As someone that thought that the Warriors would win this series in 6, looks like the Lakers are probably going to. And funny enough, I said it about a week or two ago. I said that I have a feeling that the Lakers may end up winning it all this season. Just a feeling that I had there. Now, as y'all know, there was a team that the Lakers played in round 1, and that team was the very, very immature Memphis Grizzlies, which featured players like Ja Morant and others. But there was one particular player on that roster by the name of Dillon Brooks, who basically turned himself into a clown show or a sideshow for all of the things that he was saying. Basically talking about I poke bears and he doesn't give a damn, LeBron is old, blah, 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 blah. And once the Memphis Grizzlies started losing games, he was ducking the press, ducking the media, didn't want to take any questions, right? And he went out looking pretty bad, but the entire team did, but him as well. So after that series ended, a pretty damning report was released by a reporter by the name of Shams Charania, right? Shams Charania. And he put out this report, which ended up infuriating a lot of people like Shannon Sharp, people like Kendrick Perkins, people like JJ Redick, where in the language of his report, he said that the Memphis Grizzlies will not bring back Dillon Brooks under any circumstances, which basically put a label on him, labeled him as a no-go area, not just for the Grizzlies, but to other teams. That's the signal it sends out to a player who had just basically had an expiring contract with the Memphis Grizzlies, who didn't play well, and then you now have a report like this come out, about the guy. And a lot of people were pretty upset about that, and we produced a show around this. Fantastic. In the show where we covered that story, we also highlighted two things. Number one, Shams Charania is affiliated with with Clutch Sports agency. Now, Clutch Sports is actually, Clutch Sports is an affiliate of the agency that represents Shams Charania, right? And we actually, I forgot the name of the company, the talent agency that manages Shams Charania, but that company and Clutch Sports have been together for about 2 years now. Good. So there seems to be a connection there. Now, some people say, but isn't that still a little bit more speculative? So I said, okay. Shams also has a history of putting out negative press about Russell Westbrook, and in some cases hides himself on other accounts. And this was something that was actually exposed a while back, that he represented another account, Twitter account, that was always putting out negative press. And we found out later on that it was him, according to what we saw. So yesterday, prior to the game, as y'all know, the playoffs is all about strategy, right? Strategy. That's pretty much what it's all about. So yesterday, I believe heading into game 4, Steve Kerr, the Warriors head coach, was essentially, taking questions from the media before the game started. And during his commentary, he made a statement about Shams Charania essentially leaking or receiving information that was leaked to him from the Warriors camp to him that was then exposed to the general public. But before we get into his comments, This video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is we want to play exactly what Steve Kerr had to say there. And then we'll come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what Steve Kerr had to say there.
Hey, Steve, I know you're out of the lineup sharing business, but is there...
It's okay. Shams is in the lineup sharing business. So,
Did you tell him?
No, we have a special correspondent within our organization who shares information with him, apparently.
Are you willing to share what kind of tone you want to set early in this game?
Gosh, that's a new one. You're taking a different tact. I like it, Monty. I think the main thing is we have to do a better job defending without fouling and keeping them out of transition. Those things go hand in hand. So, you know, if we can take care of the ball like we did in the first couple of games and do a better job of defending without fouling, then we can play more our style of game, and that's what we're looking for.
Standing on the right.
First question, Steve, what happens to that special correspondent when you find out who it is?
That has not been addressed yet.
Okay.
So you heard what he had to say. This is a problematic story. What Steve Kerr just said is no laughing matter. It's no laughing matter whatsoever. I'll tell you why. Number one, who in the Warriors organization, according to their head coach, not according to me, according to what the head coach said, who would do something like that? Number one. Number two, who would stand to benefit something like that? Who would purposefully leak information like starting lineups to the general public to give the Lakers a heads up on what to expect and basically jeopardize the chances of their team winning a game in a series? Who would do that? Who would benefit from that? Who would gain something from that? Now, I'm just going to go into what I think. This is not the fact. This is just what I think. I'm not saying it's the truth. It's just what I think. Here's what I think. And I think it's important that on this platform, whatever platform, you're giving your audience your honest opinion without slandering people or anything. Here's what I think. I think a connection could be made. I didn't say a connection exists. I said a connection could be made along the following lines. If you guys remember, earlier, I believe it was this season, there was a video that came out that was recorded during a Warriors practice at their practice facility. In that video, we saw Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, who is Jordan Poole, man, whatever, kind of going back and forth verbally with one another. You then saw Draymond walk up to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole kind of like light shoved him, and Draymond Green just cocked him, like knocked him into the ground, right? That incident that occurred when we saw the video didn't come out the day it happened. The video came out after the incident occurred. And a lot of people were asking the question, who in the Warriors organization would release that information, that video? Who would do that? And whatever person, whoever the person was that did that because they wanted to hurt the reputation of Draymond Green, who I believe was in a contract year. That video being leaked hurt Draymond's public, his image in the public. It didn't work well in his favor, right? And a lot of people are still asking themselves the question, where did that video come from? Who released it? Who would do such a thing to their own player? We all know it wasn't Jordan Poole because, well, he was the one that was getting clocked. So it wasn't him. So you have that incident there. Then the next part of the string is this. Draymond Green is a avid supporter of LeBron, to the extent at which even some of his teammates like Andre Iguodala, is a video of him when you see Draymond and LeBron having a conversation during a live game. Draymond Green stands up off the bench to go talk to LeBron, which to me is still weird. And then Andre Iguodala does some kind of gesture with his hand. You guys can go hunt the video down and look for it and see exactly the gesture that he did, right? Basically, he was saying you twerking a little bit too hard. So we know that Draymond and LeBron are very close friends. We also know something that I thought was extremely weird was that we know that when LeBron was getting close to passing Kareem's record, think about this. Draymond Green requested, just listen to this. He requested a leave of absence to go watch LeBron break the record. And I believe Steve Kerr declined his request and said, no. No. What is wrong with you? So there are not other players in the NBA that want to go see LeBron. So why you don't even? He said, no, we have this. And then we look at this series. I don't see that same passion and fire from Dre. I don't see him throwing Shoryukens and Street Fighter kicks all around. I don't see any of those roundhouses that he's normally throwing. I don't see that same passion, that same fire from Draymond. I don't see it. So the one can ultimately come to the conclusion, which is it who we believe it is putting this information out there? I'm not saying it is him, but who would it be? And why would Steve Kerr say we have like a quote unquote mole within our organization leak? Because here's why that information is so pertinent. The Warriors and the Lakers are in a heated series. The Warriors had, up until that point, had ran two different lineups. The second one was John Michael Green, and I think they did it again and they lost. So when they now decided to insert Gary Payton, some people say, well, what's the big deal? It's a huge deal. Why? Because you can't game plan for that because you don't know that that they're going to run that lineup. So you can't really prep for that guy being in the lineup. So you can catch the opponent off guard. I mean, who doesn't know this? And as a matter of fact, the insertion of Gary Payton Jr., when they added him in the game, he actually had an effect on D'Angelo Russell. But if you release that information prior to the game starting, then you give the Lakers coaching staff a heads up. And the question still remains, who would do that? Who stands to benefit from doing something like that? Why would you do that? So I thought, Steve Kerr saying that, really perked up my ears. And I was like, wait a minute, something is very strange about this entire series. This is just what I think. I'm not saying what I know. I'm just saying what I think. I'm just giving my opinion on the information that's been made public. I'm only commenting on what we know. We know the situation occurred with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green. That's public information. We know Draymond Green requested to go see LeBron play to break the record. That's also public information. And we know what Steve Kerr just said because he released that to the public. So I'm not insinuating a damn thing. I'm just trying to draw a conclusion based on information that's been made public. To me, the entire thing is strange. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think? Number one, about what Steve Kerr had to say. Number two, about some of the information that I gave you guys in my analysis. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.